Pag-aram, Pamati, Hibarui, Radyo, MNHS, May Dolong, National High School, Science on Air. Amazing! Good day to our active learners from grade 7.
Welcome to our on-air class. This is your on-air teacher for today, Teacher Angela
And Teacher Lawrence
of Maydolong National High School,
always at the service of Filipino learners.
Please get your pen and notebook to take down notes on your module in science entitled Biotic and Abiotic Components of an Ecosystem.
For today's topic, our lesson is Biotic and Abiotic Components of Ecosystem. And at the end of the lesson, you are expected to differentiate biotic from abiotic component, enumerate the different biotic and abiotic components of an ecosystem, and recognize the importance of abiotic component to an ecosystem.
Before we proceed, I have a question. If the prefix A means without and bio means life, what do you think the word abiotic and biotic mean?
Yes, very good. Abiotic means without life, while biotic means life. An ecosystem is made up of biotic and abiotic components that work together to maintain balance.
Preceded by a prefix A, which means without, followed by the Greek word bios, which means life. Abiotic therefore means without life. It is the non-living component of the physical and chemical aspect of an ecosystem.
On the other hand, the biotic component is the living component of an ecosystem. This includes all the living organisms that are dependent to one another. This means that each living organism has a relationship to other living organisms.
Abiotic components includes the sun, water, air, weather, and soil.
Biotic components include various plants, animals, and bacteria that act as producers, consumers, or decomposers.
Nanay, malakat na naman hitatay habukid.
Mag-aano hiya?
May daniya darang elastiko.
Agi, mandadakot da daman at tuhintamsi.
Nanay, di ba bawal iton?
Bantay, protektahi ang aton kagurangan.
Now, let's differentiate biotic and abiotic components of the ecosystem. Abiotic components do not depend on biotic factors of their existence. With or without biotic components, there will still be abiotic components in the ecosystem.
On the other hand, biotic components depend on abiotic factors for their survival and growth, meaning biotic components cannot live without the abiotic components.
In terms of relationship, abiotic factors determine the number and type of living organisms surviving in an ecosystem.
On the other hand, living organisms might be directly or indirectly related to other organisms in an ecosystem.
The following are the important role of the abiotic factors in an ecosystem. It helps to sustain the life of living organisms by providing the needed nutrients. It affects the growth, maintenance, and reproduction of the living organism.
It provides habitat for living organisms, especially for the wild, plants, and animals. It provides radiant energy for the plants, which is ultimately needed for the whole community of an ecosystem, and it helps maintain the usual flow of energy in an ecosystem.
Our environment is truly amazing, that everything that we can find in it affect one another.
Fishes that you see swimming in the sea needs water to live.
Caterpillar eat leaves of the plant, while this plant needs sunlight and water from the soil to stay nourished and to provide you fruits to eat.
As human being needs water, food, and air to survive. From that, we can say that our environment has components that continuously interact with one another. It is also reminds us that each organism needs to interact with one another organisms to live and survive.
Now, let's measure how much you have learned in this lesson.
Let us find out the answer in this activity entitled Whichy, Whichy. In this activity, you will be given different examples. All you have to do is to identify which is an example of biotic and abiotic. Write the word biotic if the given example is the living component, while abiotic if it is an example of abiotic component. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper.
Number 1. Bird. 2. Sunlight. Number 3. Plants. Number 4. Soil. Number 5. Wind.
Madi, anot imdara?
Daya per madi. Punuin hintain madi, inuruhan ni Baying.
Ikakain man it ni Madi.
Kay ilalabog ko gada sa alog diin paman.
Hala! Ayaw gad Madi, bawal mait.
Ano nga bawal? Waray magbubuot haak.
Maarap ka ba, Madi, kung arit matatabo kung damot basura sa salog? Mawawala ta na kaisdaan. Paggugutumon kita.
Aw ngayon, takay suri. Bantay protektahe an aton katubigan. Ha?
Now, let's check your answer. Number 1, bird, biotic. 2, sunlight, abiotic. 3, plants, biotic. 4, soil, abiotic. Wind, abiotic.
How's your score, learners? Always remember that you are doing great in everything that you do. Always bear in mind that there are better things than getting high scores. What is important is that you learn from your mistakes and become a better learner.
Your science teacher will wait for your output.
Once again, this is your on-air teachers, Teacher Angela
And Teacher Lauren
of Maydolong National High School. Happy learning!
Pag-aram, pamati, hibarui, radyo, MNHS, Maydolong, National High School, Science on Air.